Force One.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Pod Force One podcast.
Democrat.
Tonight
But
we
at this point, you have to think if Scott Jennings jumps into this race, you now have a 4-horse race in that. You have to start looking at other people that are running in this race that may jump in thinking, I have a shot here.
If you split it enough.
Drop out. If Jennings is shown on the polls to be so far ahead that he'd drop out.
Do I think he would?
To keep his House seat, yeah.
I think there would potentially be a push, much like there was with Stefanik or whatever in New York to not allow her. Didn't allow her. She could have done whatever she wanted, but to say to her, "Hey, we really need you to keep that House seat because the House is getting tighter. Keep that House seat." And that 6th district, while it does have a lot of individual rural counties that a Republican could win, you get a large enough win in Lexington, and that seat may be gone forever at that
Trump
point.
nominated her for UN.
Yeah,
right,
and she couldn't do it.
But now you've got a situation where they may talk him into just staying put, especially if Jennings jumps in this right now. The other thing you have to
he'd keep his House seat then is what I was.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think it would as tight as it is. I think the wiser move for the Republican Party would to have him stay there.
Yeah, and I think
if he wasn't polling well enough to win.
There have been some polls to determine who's kind of leading in that area, and I know Ryan Quarles' name has been mentioned for that House district. I can't imagine that he would give up the spot that he has and the trajectory that he's at, but I've been surprised by other things.
He's still on the gubernatorial trajectory.
Everybody's, at this point. You'll probably have a race in the 1st district at some point. I don't see Jamie Comer jumping into this race at all in the Senate race.
He's already said he wouldn't. He's not running.
Yeah, and so I think personally, I think Jamie would be a great asset to stay in the House because he's got those leadership positions. But my understanding is that Jamie has some aspirations of the governor's mansion as well.
Local.
And I think that would be great. Of course, that concerns me, losing that leadership position. But getting back to the Senate race, we have to consider the timing. We have a whole other year, and we have a governor right now who has a great desire, whether he says it or not right now, to run for president. Now, he's polling in the 8th or 9th spot right now, depending upon what you look at.
He's way down there.
But
so was Bill Clinton.
So was Bill Clinton,
right.
and so were others.
Polling at 2%.
And everybody keeps talking about, even all the James Carvilles of the world, we talked about that off air between James Carville and David Hogg. But what you have is a majority of these older Democrats, the established Democrats, are saying we got to go back to the middle, guys. We have to go more. That's why you see Gavin Newsom changing, to be more moderate.
And Josh Shapiro.
But you have Andy Bashir coming out of Kentucky, a red state that voted for Trump by 20 points. He wants to be that moderate person. It was within a hair's whisker between him and Shapiro. I don't know why Walz was picked. What a terrible choice of being a potential VP candidate. But Kentucky was going to go solid red anyway. So
it would have hurt Bashir, don't you think, Eric?
I think he would have been dead in the water.
To be Kamala Harris's VP candidate, it would have ruined his national aspirations.
I do. I don't see any good. I don't see a good path for him if that would have happened. I just don't think she would have been popular.
No. However, I will say this. I genuinely believe if Senator McConnell cannot finish out his term, now he says he's going to finish out his term, but we know he's not in great health, and I hope he stays healthy, and God bless him. I hope he's able to continue to serve. But if he leaves early, everything that I see is that while, yes, the law says that he's required to appoint someone of the same party that was there, it's my understanding he does not care. We're going full Wendell Ford here.
Yeah.
He will appoint himself, and at that point
abandon his governorship.
And at that point, abandon his governorship. Now you have a real race in 2026 where the Democrats have a real shot at pulling off an unprecedented amount. And it gives him that Barack Obama edge where he's got 2 years in the Senate.
And we would have national attention with if McConnell was forced to step away from office and Beshear appointed himself as the senator, then we'd have a national governor's race and we'd have a damn good U.S. Senate race.
And a 6th district race.
Yeah, in the 6th district. But right now, from what I'm seeing, Andy Beshear is the only middle of the road Democrat out there,
except Josh Shapiro, and I think that's the.
But remember, he's anti-Jew.
He I mean, he is Jewish. I mean, that's the
right, but he doesn't support Israel.
He doesn't, and I think that's a hard issue.
And he's trying to come back to it, but
he is, and I think people count out Gavin Newsom. That guy's slippery. He's slipped out of everything. You can't count him out.
He looks like a used car salesman.
But that 7th, 8th spot, it's always a person that comes. Barack Obama was not the heir apparent initially coming out of there.
He was almost unknown.
Yeah, absolutely, and so
he made the speech at the DNC in the first day. I think it was the first or second day, but it was the best speech of the whole convention.
Yeah, and I think he has that folksy Southern,
absolutely,
very much on par with that. Very much with Bill
friendly.
Clinton. If y'all remember, I mean, Bill Clinton was he was wearing flannel and jeans.
That Shucky Dern.
Y'all.
I want to be your friend.
Even regardless of where he's polling, Democrats generally or lately have been selecting, not electing candidates.
They say we do that, and yet that's exactly what they do.
But
the irony.
Andy Beshear is the one the old dogs are saying you've got to move to the middle. If you let the David Hoggs, and I hope he runs it.
$20 million, just do it.
David Hogg starts primarying all these Democrat candidates, then the Republicans are going to dominate for years to come.